A gathering of eminent business leaders and policymakers.
Growth is an imperative. Development is an imperative we cannot ignore. But we can certainly do it in a more sustainable manner, in a more environmentally friendly manner.
Institute of Directors held the 18th World Congress on Environment Management and also presented the prestigious Golden Peacock Awards.
Institute of Directors is playing a human role. They're doing a very critical job of bringing all the key directors together, creating awareness about environment.
Watch the entire conference only on Times Now. A gathering of eminent business leaders and policymakers.
Growth is an imperative. Development is an imperative we cannot ignore.
A platform to improve boardroom practices and pave the way for a more sustainable world. Institute of Directors held the 18th World Congress on Environment Management at Hotel Ashok in the national capital.
Institute of Directors is playing a human role. They're doing a very critical job of bringing all the key directors together, creating awareness about environment. They're bringing forth new ideas, generating a thinking process on how to take India forward.
I congratulate them for organizing this conference. This type of conferences bring together the intelligentsia, and we are able to deliberate, and certainly some policy changes can happen because of this conference.
I believe that they have been playing the catalytic role. They are able to get the right people to the platform. They have the influence across the public sector as well as the private sector, government, to be able to get the right people to the table and at the same time be able to action certain areas.
There cannot be a better conference than this. Theme has become so more relevant now that the effects of climate change is there for seeing for everybody. And it is important that some platform is created which brings all the stakeholders together.
IOD has brought together the best thinkers and most importantly its major constituency, the corporate sector. And particularly the directors in the corporate sector, the people who are the decision makers, to work together, to think together.
We request our guests to light the lamp.
The inaugural session saw world leaders take center stage and discuss the theme Environment and Climate Change, transitioning to a sustainable economy.
It's a great pleasure for me to welcome you all for this 18th World Congress on Environment Management. Our natural resources are finite. It is time we recognize the price of natural capital, of greenery, rivers, mountains, oceans, and glaciers, and reflect our financial balance sheet on a triple bottom line growth model. India has major challenges to provide energy needs for its accelerated growth. By 2030, India plans to meet 40% of its energy needs with renewables against 8% today. India's established International Solar Alliance with 120 solar-rich countries launched in Paris on 30th November by our Prime Minister, heralding the emergence as the solar energy hub in the globe. This Congress aims to sneak into the requirement of green economy for sustainable development, an opportunity for directors to discuss how boards might best handle the problems, environment concerns which cannot be viewed in isolation. We sincerely appreciate your support for sharing your valuable time to be here for these deliberations and to work out a blueprint for their action plan.
The theme of this session is environment and climate change. As we try to ensure a decent standard of living and decent quality of life to our citizens in urban settlements, sustainability has to be at the center of our strategies, planning process, and implementation. We believe that in the Ministry of Urban Development that the city master plans and the building regulations can be powerful instruments for driving this change. I would like to mention two recent initiatives of the ministry in this regard. One, the model building bylaws, which we notified a couple of months ago, which seek to integrate environmental aspects in building plans and mandate concepts like solar power and rainwater harvesting. Second, the transit-oriented development policy, which we have finalized and which incentivizes densification in corridors along mass transport routes to cut down the distances which people have to travel and reduce the burden of cities and transport systems and cut down the use of personal vehicles. I think the responsibility to plan sustainably and implement sustainable strategies has eventually to be shouldered by the cities and their elected representatives, because they are accountable, they are democratically elected, and they see and experience day-to-day problems. Thank you for the opportunity.
India and France have engaged over the years in a relation which can be defined by two words: trust and partnership. And climate change, sustainable development are key aspects of this relationship. 2015 has seen the conclusion of two major international negotiations. The first one was the Sustainable Development Goals, and the second one has been the Paris Agreement on climate change. So we now have a sound basis for action to put our countries on a more sustainable path of growth and economic development. The agreement we have signed in Paris now provides a framework for action. And I am very committed to expand and to deepen this partnership. Actually, the French Green Team stands ready for this, and it will be one of my very top priorities during my stay in India.
I'm convinced that the Paris Agreement is an opportunity, is a challenge, but at the same time is an opportunity for the modernization of our economies. And both the EU and India actively contributed to reaching these landmark agreements. And now both work on their implementation. It means that the European Union and India have both embarked on the same boat of bringing climate change and economic sustainability at the heart of their policy making. The EU wants to place itself as a credible, long-term partner for India to work on clean coal, energy efficiency, energy security, new and renewable energy, smart grids and solar energy, and water management, including on Clean Ganga. And I would like to underline that working together and developing our cooperation, we have more chances to achieve our common objective. Thank you very much.
One thing very significant in this conference is we have the ambassadors from European Union, France and Netherlands. This shows that the concern for the environment has no barriers. We have policies, goals, but this should not be restricted only to the governmental agencies. It's ultimately the participation of every common man which is needed to really achieve what we desire to be achieved. Now, as a part of the corporate social responsibility,
It would be the duty of the corporates to spread the message that we have to live a life of dignity. We have to protect the environment and not destroy it. Green currency cannot be a substitute for green cover.
The plenary session on ensuring sustainable energy for all brought our attention to a series of pertinent subjects, from renewable energy options for green growth to energy efficiency programs and the promotion of sustainable energy choices. IOD's 18th World Congress provided a platform to discuss one of the biggest threats facing mankind. It brought the issue of climate change and global warming to the fore.
This theme is very important because it is about climate change and the environment and getting to a sustainable economy. And it's very important that this is organized by the IOD, the Institute of Directors, because what we think in the Netherlands is that the government, of course, has a stimulating role, facilitating and coordinating role, but the companies themselves, they have to come to a sustainable business model.
The theme of the conference, environment sustainability, is crucial. As I said when I spoke, it is the most significant concern of the 21st century. And I think our very existence depends on it.
IOD brings in more of knowledge sharing. The information and the motivation that they do is phenomenal. The third thing is the competitiveness that they bring in among the other industries. The questionnaires are not easy. So they bring in a tremendous amount of awareness.
That's extremely relevant. Of course, the panel that I was on related to the Paris Agreement, and so it's extremely important that the Paris Agreement enter into force so that it sends a really strong market signal to companies across the world that environmental management has to be a top priority.
I think it has been very educative. They've also talked about a lot of the business models which are required, the support and from the policy as well as from the financial institutions. I think they have brought out a very holistic approach towards the whole area of a sustainable economy. So I give credit to the organizer for organizing and bringing across various industries together and then coming out with the emergence of an ideation.
On the other side of the break, we bring you the presentation of the prestigious Golden Peacock Awards. The 18th World Congress culminated with the presentation of the Golden Peacock Awards that are considered a benchmark for corporate excellence. As the chief guest of the conference, Union Power Minister Piyush Goyal bestowed this honor on several companies.
Now I read out the names of the winners of the Golden Peacock Eco-Innovation Award for 2016. And the first winner is Godrej and Boyce Manufacturing Company Limited, Appliances Division, Mumbai. In the category Consumer Appliances, the next winner is Cairn India Limited, Mangla Wellpad, Bamer, in the category of oil production. The next award winner is Tetra Pak India, Gurgaon, in the category packaging. The next winner is Talwandi Sabo Power Limited, Mansa, in the category Power. The first Golden Peacock Award for Occupational Health and Safety goes to Gujarat Gas Limited, Ahmedabad, in the category Gas. I'll read the citations of the Environment Management Award, and the first award goes to Tata Motors Limited, Pantnagar, for the sector automobiles. The next winner is HPCL Mittal Energy Limited, Noida, in the sector oil refinery. The next winner is Netco Pharma Limited, Chemicals Division, Makeguda, in the sector pharmaceuticals. I would now request the first Distinguished Fellow Award for today. We have a tradition as to award people who have excelled in public service. And the first awardee today is Shri Deepak Gupta, Chairman, Union Public Service Commission. He did his postgraduate in history from St. Stephen's, Delhi, and stood second. He has a master's in public administration from the Kennedy School of Government, Harvard University, as a Mason fellow. The next awardee is Mr. K.D. Tripathi. He is an IS officer. He is Secretary, Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas. He has an experience of 35 years in public administration. He has held important positions in Government of India, various ministries. The next award, Distinguished Fellow, goes to Shri Sunil Kanoria. Sunil Kanoria is President ESOCHAM and Vice Chairman of Shrey International Finance Limited. He launched his first public offering, IPO, and was listed on all major stock exchanges. The next award goes to Mr. Vijay Karya, Chairman and Managing Director, Raveen Group of Companies. He is Chairman and Managing Director of Raveen Group of Companies, Chairman, Expert Committee of Exhibitions of Indian Merchants Chamber. He is member governing body, Quality Council of India, and he is member governing council of MSME Technology Development Center.
Dr. Abdul Kalam was the first recipient of this award. I feel very, very humbled and very thankful to the Institute of Directors for giving this, considering me worthy to be giving this award to me.
We are very delighted that we were awarded the Golden Peacock Award, which recognizes efforts made in the area of environment. So it's an Eco-Innovation Award, and it does recognize the efforts that we have put over the past years in building a sustainable ecosystem around our packaging.
I feel proud of my team who made it possible to come to this level, and especially the area we work. Gujarat Gas is in a CGD, City Gas Distribution. It's not like all other entities which are in compounded walls and they have got their own control over it.
While the award winners will celebrate their joy at being recognized for their work, it also should encourage them to redouble their efforts going forward. At the same time, there are so many others who haven't received an award. I do hope the message that this award gives to all of them is to look at strengthening their processes, looking at contributing towards better environment management, looking at transitioning to processes which create a more sustainable world going forward. In some sense, India has to move, instead of from protecting the environment, to creating an ecosystem where it doesn't need protection. It is an automatic, a very natural phenomena. We really cannot afford to leave behind a world which is worse than what we inherited, and in some sense leaves behind a legacy that the others will have to grapple with, the others will have to resolve the problems associated with climate change. Growth is an imperative. Development is an imperative we cannot ignore. But we can certainly do it in a more sustainable manner, in a more environmentally friendly manner. The solar target was earlier 20 gigawatts by 2022. Now we hope to do it by 2017 itself, 5 years ahead of schedule. Here I'd be happy to share with you that we are shortly coming out with some more robust policies to support Make in India program related to environment protection. So we are looking at a policy to support solar manufacturing, for end-to-end solar manufacturing in India. Right from the silicon chips up to the final product, we want that to be made in India. The fact that this nation today is transitioning to a more sustainable economy is something for which all of us directors, in some form or the other, have to be proud of our achievements and have to rededicate ourselves for achieving even more transformational results in the years to come. My compliments to the Institute of Directors in its 26th year and the 25th year of the awards, and I do hope you will continue to encourage and support people in different walks of life towards contributing to the national good, to national development in right earnest. Thank you very much.
Institute of Directors has been instrumental in encouraging corporates to focus on environmentally friendly business solutions. With the 18th World Congress, it brought together intellectuals from different fraternities to create a roadmap for a more sustainable world.
IOD is doing a wonderful job. They are bringing together all the stakeholders, world leaders, policy makers, and with such a relevant subject, they are giving opportunity to various stakeholders to come together and deliberate and then make recommendations to the policy makers.
I would like to wish them all the very best in times to come and let them have more programs, sensitize more people and contribute their might towards the nation building.